Hello everyone.
Hey.
We are so excited to be back with our Facebook Lives every Sunday at
4 o'clock-ish.
4 o'clock-ish, we're going to say. We are both here with, we've picked out 5 questions from all of the questions that you sent in for us. We've tried to keep it nice and short and sweet so we don't overload you with information.
Yeah, because we feel there's always so much that we could cover and we'd love to hear from you throughout. So if you're dropping questions below, actually we've got the lovely Camilla with us today who can let us know and we can kind of answer things as we go along as well. So we're trying a few new things.
We are trying new things. So basically, we picked out 5 questions and then we're also going to let you know at the end of this what we are going to be talking about next week so that we can start preparing questions further in advance so we can have more to talk about. So I'm going to hand over to Rhi and your first question.
Okay, so the first question came from...
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was embarrassing.
Anyway, so Becky, you asked me, now this is quite a common question, how do I go from counting macros, because it causes me a lot of anxiety, is what Becky was saying, into intuitive eating? So first of all, the word intuitive is basically another kind of form of what we know as mindful eating. And it's about reconnecting with your gut signals, knowing when you're hungry, you're full, when your body actually needs to eat and fuel itself, rather than relying so heavily on what's basically another form of what I tend to call restriction, or maybe it can't be enhancing your life. If macro counting isn't making you happy, is what I'm trying to say, then it's obviously not working for you. So instead of thinking of the numbers every day, set yourself goals. Often with clients, I say, let's wean you off slowly. It is literally almost like being a child again and having to suddenly wean yourself onto solid food or something. It can be quite scary. So set yourself 2 days a week, maybe 1 day, whatever you're comfortable with, and say, for this 1 day of the week, I'm not going to count calories, macros. I'm going to have what my body needs. Now, if that is too daunting as well to even comprehend, let's start with just 1 meal in the day. And to start the mindful eating process, I mean, this is something I'm probably going to write a whole chapter on in my book as well, because I think so many people need to know about mindful eating. But reconnect with chewing the food, because we digest food when we see it before it even gets in our mouth. So acknowledge the colour, the taste. It's all about the senses. And really take your time. Switch off the social media. Just switch it all off. And try and eat your meal or that item of food without any distractions. And this is a pretty big question, but if you are finding it hard, then I would suggest seeking some guidance on moving away from macro counting or calorie counting if this is something that's consuming you, and getting some professional support with it. So I hope, Becky, that's helped a little bit. It's a tricky question and it's one that Alice and I hear a lot.
It's something that crops up, but...
Sarah and Nicola and Kerry have joined.
Hello. Hi guys. So I think, like, touching on that, if you're, macro counting is something that's had a massive heyday, and it works for some people, and they will say the benefits of it. But I think for a lot of people, you do start to develop that level of anxiety over not knowing what is in your food, and actually basing your judgment on food about what a description that you put into your phone instead of how it actually makes your body feel, and how you actually feel when you eat that food and what that actually signals to your body.
And if you need a carb, or if you rather than having a protein macro that you need to hit, maybe your body actually needs more carbohydrates and fats at that particular point in the day, despite what the numbers are saying.
So moving on, so Iman has written a question on my page saying, is it okay to have protein powder every day and on days when you're not working out? Now, I think it's a real kind of myth that needs debunking, that protein is something that should only be associated with training, and that it's something that is almost like the secret key to building lean muscle. Look, I think Rhi, more than anyone, is probably best equipped to say that protein is just protein. It's the same as, whilst in different forms, obviously, but it's the same as like a chicken breast or having some sort of other source of protein. There's no real preferential kind of quality of whey protein or vegan or whatever you choose over eating real food.
Yeah, if you're on the go, it's easier for you. That's fine.
Exactly. I say, for me, protein is used as a convenience tool more than anything. So if I'm in a rush, if I don't have much time, if I'm having something like porridge, but I don't want to just have, a bowl of oats and I want to add something to it, there's loads of different uses. But it's not the be all and end all, and it doesn't mean that on days where I don't train, I restrict myself from having it. Absolutely not. If I'm hungry and I wanted some porridge, I'd put a scoop of protein in there, no matter whether it's a training day or whether it wasn't a training day.
It's actually quite hard to overeat on protein. It does depend. Some clients I've had have done it. It is a fine line, but there's no harm in adding it, guys, to your diet.
Absolutely. And so I wouldn't worry about having protein if you're on a training day or not at all. I think in moderation, as with everything within your diet, but don't obviously rely on it as a sole source of your protein. Try and let's get a whole variety of different sources of protein.
Exactly. Oh, and we've got Joanne that's joined, and Helen. Hello.
This is so cool. It's so nice, like knowing who's joining in. Hi.
Yeah, we can actually say hello.
And if you are just joining in, then please do know that if you drop any questions below, we'll be answering questions retrospectively when we finish as well, or maybe at the end of this video. So please do just keep commenting questions below, and we'll try and keep up to date with them.
Definitely. The next question I've got, now I hope I say your name right. I think it's Healthy. I hope so. That's a lovely name, by the way. I've never heard of that before.
It's like Heidi, but
like Heidi, but healthy. Lovely name, beautiful. You've asked about snacks between meal times. You're getting bored of your standard peanut butter and rice cakes, and you've said your fruit and veg kind of crudités, and fair enough. Do you know, it's the question I get all the time, and I think Alice does too, is I need unique snack ideas. I'm getting bored. And it's true, variety is the spice of life, and you want to be feeding your body a whole array of nutrients, even just for your gut microbes, let alone the rest of your body, to be getting a good rich variety of nutrition to build up your strength and your immune system. So, snack ideas. It has to be what you like, is the first thing I'm going to say. Just avoid refined sugar as a snack. Sugary snacks are probably not the best idea. They're going to make you hungrier. Refined carbohydrates, again, things like pastries. I think this is pretty much common sense, and you're probably not going to want to go towards those anyway, unless you're having one of those days like I did yesterday. But aside from that, maybe think of different things, like edamame beans are good. If you like salmon, why not have some smoked salmon on the go? I mean, that's a bit luxurious. Snacks can be cheap as well. You can get lots of frozen items. You can defrost the night before. My top tip is actually to split your meals. So if you don't finish all of your meal, let's say at lunch, and you can't eat it all, what I tend to do is at clinic or something, I might just eat that little bit that I've got left in the afternoon instead. So sometimes I spread it out, or I often go to the local shop, and sometimes I buy like a mishmash of things. So I'll buy a little salad pot, and I'll add chicken to it instead. So it's not just a plain, boring hummus and snack pot. I'll add something extra and get creative is what we're trying to say, as long as you avoid sugar.
Yeah, I think it's really important as well to find some recipes that work for you. So
exactly.
I think it's really important that we don't always just reach for those convenient snacks all the time. You know, the supermarket's now full of things like protein bars, protein snacks, flapjacks, nuts, seeds. There's loads of different varieties of snacks, but also it's really cheap and easy to be able to make in batches.
Boiled eggs.
Some snacks from home. Yeah, exactly. So things like, there's loads of recipes in my book in the back of like protein energy balls or kale chips. Various different things, and there's so many recipes out there.
Chickpeas.
Yes.
Is it Sasha?
There's a recipe, Sasha, if you don't know, there is a recipe for spicy roasted chickpeas in my second book, Eat Well Every Day. So look on there.
Oh, and butter beans.
Yeah, they're also a really cheap snack, like beans, pulses.
In a can.
Exactly, they're really, really cost effective as well. So I would look at maybe something like that and try to spice them up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can get some tuna, add some yogurt to it.
I'm going to have to
go run.
My cupboard. No.
Ooh.
This is not a product placement, but
we're getting something out the cupboard.
I recently got this, which is I'm not like paid to promote this. I just thought they're really good. It's the Tilda chickpea harissa and lemon with steamed basmati rice. It's a source of protein. It's got loads of really good yummy things in here. It's got all sorts of flavours. Harissa and tomato, spinach,
you can
garlic.
Get lentil packs as well, things of lentils, quinoa, brown rice. These microwave packs are actually really good ideas.
Really good, and these were on offer in Waitrose. So
wow, this is good.
Saved a few pennies, and they're really, really
Definitely.
good.
What about any sesame snacks? I think you mean those sesame snack bar things that you see in the shops.
Sorry.
If that is what you mean, Chris, I think it is. Let's just write that down. They're actually not the best thing. They're full of, I think it's glucose syrup and sugar condensed down. I know they say sesame in them, but they're actually not the healthiest thing. You can toast your own seeds at home. That's super cheap if you just kind of keep an eye on them because they burn really quickly. But toasting your own seeds at home is a good idea. But
My next question is, and this is a really good one because I know that I'm a huge fan of eggs, but I understand that not everyone is, and I think it's a really important question to suggest alternatives to eating eggs. Now, for me, something that I will always suggest as an alternative is something that I think is a really good idea and is cost effective as well, because eggs are really cheap. I think that's one of the best reasons why I love them, is they're a really cheap and easy source of really good nutrition. If you look, there's cans of things like mackerel, things like sardines. I know they probably don't sound like the most appetizing thing, but they're actually delicious. And if you mix them in, if you mix them in with different flavors, smashed avocado with mashed sardines, there's so many different ways in which you can enjoy them, and they're a really good, quick and easy alternative to eggs in the morning for breakfast, particularly on toast. So I would definitely recommend trying something like that. I would also say things like, we just talked about protein porridge. I think, you know, overnight oats, chia porridge. There's all sorts of different ways of making a breakfast really nice and delicious and full of those good sources of protein and carbohydrates without having to have eggs. So I think, you know, look outside
and
the
of
box.
course, if you're vegan, one thing I often say to clients is try mashed, like we said before, butter beans and chickpeas on breakfast as well, or tofu. So tofu is a really good thing, like eggs, that you can scramble. Scrambled tofu. That's a good one. Yeah,
I saw a really good recipe for tofu the other day.
I think Jade's just joined as well. Hi, Jade.
I sent it to Zana. I Snapchatted her because it was a really nice recipe.
Which one?
It was in BBC Good Food, and it was like pan-fried miso tofu with sweet potato and all sorts, and it sounded really good.
Anything miso. So miso is like a good fermented food as well, so it's good gut health food.
Gut.
Yeah, love it.
Cool. Do you want to go on to your next?
I think
you're done.
Yours,
so the last question is this is one that me and Rhi actually wanted to split, because it was talking about, you know, at this time of year, a lot of people are getting sick, lots of colds and various illnesses going around. This one's been unwell. Yeah. So it's about talking about training when you're unwell, but specifically this question was, should and can you train when you've got a cold? Now, if we're talking about a cold, I would say, you know, there's the general rule, I guess, of training, that if it's head up and it's just in your nose and you're just a little bit congested, see how you feel. If you don't feel like training, if you're feeling pretty bunged down and you're not feeling up to it, don't do it. Use your head, go home, get some rest. You'll come back to your training feeling so much better and stronger if you just allow your body to recover. Because I think what we forget is when you're having to fight off something, you're using up energy a lot more to try and in your defenses, try and fight that, whatever it is, infection off, or so I think that it's really important that you will probably feel a little bit more run down, and you're probably not going to have as much energy to train. So if you're not feeling up to it, don't do it.
Also, the danger is if you raise your temperature in the gym, then you're more prone to getting infection as well. So you could actually exacerbate the problem, and you open up your immune system to be more prone to catching all those bugs in the gym.
And the gym is a filthy place, so
it's disgustingly
keep
dirty.
Clean, people. But the other thing I would say is hi Megan, who's joining. The other thing I would say is if you are sickness and any like sort of stomachy illnesses, I would definitely
any diarrhea, constipation, fever symptoms, chesty coughs, all those kind of things, you do not want to be in the gym.
I think it comes down to as well, just using your common sense. You know, do you feel? I always say to my, like, if someone is like, oh, I'm not sure whether I should train, a client of mine, I usually say, like, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad are you? How bad are you feeling? Are you feeling as though all you want to do is just crawl back into bed? And if that's the case, just don't put yourself through it. What I always say is, like, look, this is 1 week of 30, however, God, I can't remember how many weeks are in a year. 34, 52. Oh my God, where did I get 34 from? My Lord, short year. 52 really weeks of the year. So, you know, what is this one? Sorry, that was really embarrassing. So what is these little few days of having off when you're not feeling so 100%? In the grand scheme of things, it's nothing, and it's going to have no effect on your goals, on your kind of journey, whatever it is. I really wouldn't worry. And I think, you know, me and Rhi feel so passionate about people not beating themselves up about those times when they're not feeling 100% and not feeling as motivated as they probably should. Definitely. Sickness happens. We all get sick. It's one of those things that you just have to just just let it be, let it come, let it go, and then when you're recovering and you're starting to feel better and feeling as though you've got the energy to train, at that point then maybe think about doing a light session and easing yourself back into it.
Yeah, because you don't want to make it worse. And I think the other half of that question was, what do I eat to support my immune system when it's low and I've got a cold and I want to snap back quick? Now, the thing is, there's that hindsight question here. Oh, if I knew I was going to be sick, I'd be eating tons of vitamin C and antioxidants the week before to bulletproof myself. It doesn't work like that.
No.
What you should be doing though, now I know the first thing you want to do when you're poorly, believe me, I know, is I want to eat chocolate. I want to comfort myself, or maybe it's something in childhood that you had growing up. Whenever you were sick, it was that crumpet with Marmite, or I don't know why I just thought of that, but anything.
Because I love Marmite.
Marmite, yeah, you see this
it.
girl is a Marmite fiend, so it could be anything you're used to having, but actually in reality when you're sick, first of all, first point, if you don't have an appetite, you have to listen to your body and make sure it's easy energy. So sometimes white rice, white bread is actually a good form of energy for your body to have if you're finding it hard to get anything in. Secondly, if you do have an appetite, maximize it. Try and eat lots of colourful vegetables, colourful fruit, things that are going to boost your immune system. And then a natural supplement you can consider taking is something called echinacea. Now, I'll probably spell that out below, but I always take that when I'm sick.
My mum used to always make us have it when we were younger.
Yeah,
Echinacea.
it's great. I mean, there is actually some scientific research that says that it speeds up that whole recovery process. So I won't delve into that now, but that's something. And Manuka honey is a good antibacterial thing to have in your drinks. Ginger. Lots of natural remedies, but just focus on eating well and not having lots of refined sugar, because it will make you feel worse in the long run. I know short term it's that buzz, long term you want to get better.
Cool, so we're just going to touch on a couple of questions that we've had really quickly. So the first is from Sophie, who said, when you first started training weights and using weights and didn't change your eating, did your weight increase rather than decrease? So personally, I don't know whether we should speak that from a personal point of view, because I actually did both at the same time. So my nutrition was the first thing that I addressed, and I looked at what I was eating, and it was at a later stage that I then started incorporating weight training into my schedule.
This is common though.
But I think what's really common is yes, if your diet isn't on point and your weight training, there's a saying, you can't out-train a bad diet. Now, I would wholeheartedly say that phrase rings true for me. I think it's really, really important that, not for any physique reasons, but purely for the fact that if you want to get the most out of your training, your nutrition needs to be supporting that, and you need to be having really good sources of energy and really good recovery foods to be able to maximize your training and get the most out of it. So I would say, looking at that question, you can't out-train a bad diet.
Do look at your nutrition.
If you're really enjoying your training, and if you're trying to get into weight training, look at your recovery, look at your nutrition, and look how you're supporting that training and fueling it so that you can get the most out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Next question is from Amy. What's a great pre-workout snack? Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, Amy, good question. Pre-workout, anything that contains a good source of complex carbohydrate, potentially, and a little bit of protein. So you want them together. Ultimately, maybe a little bit of healthy fat would be a good idea, but it's not essential. The carbohydrate kind of is the essential part. So I would normally say, if it's a snack item, something light that your stomach can digest, always leave it an hour if you can after you've had the item of food. Or if it's a shake, half an hour before is fine. That's the cutoff point for me. Please don't eat, if you can, within 15 minutes and then go into the gym. Leave it at least half an hour. Maybe some oats blended up in a protein shake with some almond milk, or a banana with some nut butter. There's some good options.
Cool. Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
So last question before we move on. Laura has said, what are your thoughts on coconut water? Now, I personally do not like coconut water. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan.
Whereas I like the taste.
I would say, from my perspective, a lot of them are full of
Extra
a lot of sugar. Yeah, so it's just being aware of, I don't think, nothing's bad for us, but I think if you're going to be consuming a lot of it, just be aware that some of them do contain a lot of sugar.
You can read it on the side, so always check. If it's a coconut water, it should say 100% coconut water. Often they have added fruit sugars in them and things, and it's naturally sweet anyway. A lot of the health claims you've got to be very careful with coconut water. I would just have it in your diet if you enjoy the taste. I wouldn't replace water for it, is my only tip. You need water, water, water. Coconut water is effectively a sweeter drink. You don't need it to be hydrating.
Perfect.
Yes, that's my
Cool. So we are really excited to now announce what we will be talking about next week, which is something that we feel really, really passionately about. So Rhea and I thought long and hard about what we wanted to have as our next topic, because we don't just want to keep doing random Q&As. We'd like to kind of make each week have a different topic. And so next week we're going to be talking about our positive, our take on the positive sides of social media. So we're going to be talking about things like who we like following, where we go for inspiration,
especially foodie inspiration. Like if I see someone putting something up, I think I'm definitely going to go and eat that.
And so talking about fitness motivation. So we're basically going to be listing all the people that inspire us. We're going to be talking about how we use social media for a positive reason, because I think it's received so much negativity in the last few years. And you know, I personally have experienced so much positivity.
I mean, we're friends because of it. Exactly. So that's a way of looking at it. Friendships are formed, and it does have good things.
Definitely. So I think we would love to talk about the positive side. So if you have any questions regarding social media,
like who you want to see or where we go to for advice, that kind of thing,
and also who you guys like following, because it would be nice to see if there's anyone that you guys want to suggest as well. But we'll be doing that next week, so please tune in
at 4 p.m. probably next week.
I think so. Do you want to say we're both?
We're at Move Fit Festival, which is this weekend. So we're on different days. I'm Saturday, I'm Sunday. But we're both there.
We'll see you both there. We'll see you both. We'll see you all there, hopefully, or as many of you as possible. And I will also be speaking at the Glamour Festival, which is on the Saturday. I'll be there on Saturday afternoon on a panel talking about social media. So I'm really excited. I hope to see some of you there too. Have a really good rest of your weekend.
Have a lovely Sunday.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
And we'll see you next week.